Okay, so we are adding and subtracting fractions. There's two steps to add fractions with different denominators. Step one, we have to find the LCM of the denominators. So I'll write that in here. Oops, Smartboard's not working for us again. So if we're talking about a couple fractions, 1 over 3 and 2 over 5, we have to find the lowest common multiple of those two denominators. Remember, these are called unlike denominators because they're different from each other. Like denominators would be if they were both thirds or both fifths. But since they're not the same number on the bottom, they're unlike denominators. So how we're going to do that is we're going to look for the multiples of those numbers. Remember, this is designed for people who don't see the number in their head. They don't see the common denominator right now. So this is what you would do if you couldn't see that number and you had to figure it out.
For hard jab and gag, hard jab to the office, please.
So we're going to look first for the multiples of each number. So for the multiples of 3, we know that we have 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and we could keep going, but we're hoping we can stop there. And then we're going to look for the multiples of 5. And we're going to 0, 5, 10, 15. And you can really stop as soon as you find one that's in both lists. Now, some of you looking at 3 and 5 would right away have thought, I know the lowest common multiple of thirds and fifths is 15. And for you, you can always just go straight to 15. You don't have to write out all these multiples. But in the event that you're doing a question and you don't know what to convert them to have common denominators, just find the common multiple. And it's really simple. Just count on in each number. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The first number you find that's in both lists is an ideal choice for your lowest common multiple. You could use any common multiple if you kept the list going, but if you do that, you're going to have more reducing to do later because you'll have renamed them a larger fraction, meaning you'll have more reducing work. That's why teachers say find the lowest common multiple, because chances are you'll have the least amount of work to do once you get there. Okay? So once we found out that they're both 15ths, now of course we have to rename these fractions into 15ths. So we have to, sometimes it's called creating equivalence fractions. I prefer to call it rename them, or renaming. Right, so we're going to rename them as 15ths without changing their value. We're just changing their identity, right? So we have 1 over 3. I'm going to rename that as a 15th. And you can see, well, how would I do that? I would multiply it by 1 that looks like 5 over 5. 3 times 5 was 15. 1 times 5 is going to give us 5. And so that's our new 1/3 has been renamed 5/15. And now we're going to rename 2/5. We're going to move out of the way here. We're going to rename. I've started using this arrow to show renaming. So 2/5 is going to become something over 15. Well, what did I do here? I multiplied by 1 that looked like 3 over 3. 5 times 3 was 15, so 2 times 3, hopefully arrive at 6. So now, our question that started with adding 1/3 and 2/5 is now, what is 5/15? Oops. Went in the wrong order there. And you remember, you just add the numerators, so 5 plus 6 is 11. We have 11/15. Okay, so that's the 2 steps to adding fractions. Step 1, find a common denominator. Step 2, rename them using that common denominator. And of course, if necessary, look at your question, your result. Can it be reduced? because you always want to leave your fractions in proper form and in lowest terms. Any questions? Ask me in class.